My name is Janice Palma-Glennie. Sorry. As more information has come to light through the petition process, so has our group's belief that regulation of the Keauhou Aquifer is a common sense tool for managing the resource upon which our group's members and all people who live in and visit Hawaii Island depend. The information presented continues to support the following important points. First, designation will not result in federal control of our watershed. National Park Service is petitioning the state to do its job since state waters are under state jurisdiction. Second, National Park Service has, in good faith, worked on their own and with other entities, including Hawaii County, to find alternatives to designation, not just during the petition process, but for many years prior to it. They've even offered the out-of-the-box solution to designate less than the entire aquifer, the Keauhou Aquifer, a potential win-win compromise that would allow the Park Service to fulfill its mandate while allaying the fears of others who, even if erroneously, see state management of the aquifer as a threat. Third, there's ample evidence that designation will not stop development. One need look no further than Oahu and Maui, where economic factors, rather than designation, have caused the ups and downs of growth, just as they have in West Hawaii. Fourth, regulation of water resources within and beyond Kolokohonokohau National Park not only won't hinder development, but fits perfectly with the Kona CDP, whose #1 guiding principle is, quote, protect Kona's natural resources and culture. Number 5, petitioning for designation is preemptive, not premature. This action has been taken to fulfill National Park Service's mandate to protect the irreplaceable and fragile natural and cultural resources contained within Kolokohonokohau National Park. Last, the county's water use projections do not reliably reflect the region's future water needs. As you have seen in Table 2 of the staff submittal on Phase 1 of the Hawaii County Water Use and Development Plan update, it notes that the county suggests that authorized planned use caused by the Kona CDP will only require an additional 1.85 million gallons of water a day. This makes no sense when that plan, even with the discussion I've heard today, when that plan proposes that growth should occur in 10 transit-oriented development zones. One single proposed TOD, as you heard, the proposed Koloko-Makai development, in its own EIS noted that it would need 2.5 million gallons of water per day. In conclusion, we appreciate the National Park's ongoing efforts to work with the county and state to mitigate damage to the park's resources for the common good, as well as supporting public input into the important process of water use. We ask that the fact-finding phase of this process be closed and that a public hearing be held in Kona so the commissioners can take a clear up or down vote on designation as soon as possible. We also ask that commissioners help the National Park Service in this effort by supporting designation of the Keauhou Aquifer System groundwater management area. And I'd like to say, on a separate note, as an individual, not for my group, I'm an individual who's been directly involved in the CDP process, this Kona Community Development Plan process, sitting on the original CDP steering and action committees. I'd like to say that I have concerns that the planning director, Kanuha, may have implied that the CDP may not, due to financial considerations, be implemented. However, the CDP must be implemented as it is required by law, being an ordinance. Also was what was brought up by Commissioner Starr, whose comments likely reflect a large sector of the public's concerns regarding this issue and process, including my own. I agree that the language of the motion before you seems ambiguous and open to further interpretation, including future legal questions, and his testimony reflects his deep concerns for the rights of the public, including those of Native Hawaiians. Mahalo for considering the testimony of my group and my individual testimony.
Sorry, I'm going to ask you, you might have to look at your screen, that's why I was...
Oh, thank you, yes, I probably...
Thank you for your testimony. So I just want to get that 2.5 million you said in the EIS for Koloko-Makai, did you say that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was the same thing, I think that the National Park Service lawyer or representative mentioned, and I hope I have the numbers exactly right, but it didn't make sense to, even though I heard about how it's all going to be divided up, and it still seems a little bit ambiguous to me. It seems a little disingenuous. I agree with Commissioner Starr that if you're going to say that it's going to use that amount of gallons, 1.85 per day, it should be really clearly reflected in the language what that doesn't include, what it does and doesn't include. It just didn't sound right to me, even. And I just hope that anything that can be clarified now. I mean, I've been involved in a lot of land use planning issues. I've been involved in a lot that went to court even to the state Supreme Court, and to do anything you can now to help avoid those kind of situations coming up again. It's extremely costly to everyone, and in my case, it's always just like Mr. Kahui said, it's using your work time to try to pursue what you feel is the public good. So I hope that anything you can clarify today in a motion or anything that's coming up in the future will be as clear as possible and take everyone's concerns into consideration. Thanks very much. I really appreciate your question.